Recovering from failure. Okay, so you've been giving it your all. Okay, well, maybe not your all, but a good proportion of your all. And you're not seeing any progress. So now what? Are you doomed to failure and never to succeed? No, just keep on watching. One thing that you need to understand is that failure is an event and not a person. It doesn't define you as a loser for the rest of your life, unless you let it. Failure happens to you. It isn't who you are. You're not a victim, and it also doesn't define you. So when it happens, notice I didn't say if. Pick yourself up and get ready for the next event in your life. You must adjust your attitude as you recuperate from a failure. You will rise to your own expectations. Psychologists call this self-fulfilling prophecy, and we are suckers to believe our very own words. So adjust your attitude to the positive side of things. Remember the guy who came up with a brilliant idea to change Coca-Cola back in the 80s? For those of you who were mere babies during the decade, someone had a stroke of genius, or so he thought. The Coca-Cola company decided to compete more with Pepsi and changed their formulation of their signature product, Coke. They called it the new Coke, and it bombed. Nobody enjoyed the taste, and the calls were immediate to bring back the old Coke. After a few months of humming and hawing, Coca-Cola executives brought back the original formula of Coke and ditched the new stuff and its creator. So what happened to the guy whose ideas that was? He left Coca-Cola and began to look for new work. The trouble was, his name was well known in the business community and everyone connected him to the failure that New Coke was. He finally landed an interview in which he got a fair shake. The interviewer asked what he had learned through the problems the New Coke had created. Naturally, he indicated that he had learned many lessons from the fiasco. He didn't let the failure define him though, and he ended up landing the job that he was interviewing for. Good for him, right? But good for the company that hired him too. They were willing to take a chance on a creative risk taker who had a very public failure on his record. Many of those who are considered successful have had failures in their lives too. Rush Limbaugh, the king of daytime talk radio, was fired multiple times from different radio jobs. He also filed for bankruptcy twice. So you can see how Limbaugh didn't permit failure to define him. Those failures were events from which he recovered and moved on. You should try and adopt the same tactic when confronted with something that didn't turn out the way that you hoped it would.